Welcome back to the channel, guys. Now this is going to be all about my month in fishing in October. So I've got 3 matches here at Weston Pools to catch up on and the teams of 4 at Herren Brook. So first of all, I'm going to do the festival first, and as I'm walking around, because I'm actually on the peg, which I won the first match off on the day. I won 2 matches, so I won the match off Free Belv, and then I'll probably wander over to H Stretton and show you that, and I'll talk about the other matches there. So first day of that festival, I think it was middle of October, fished it, and I've drawn this peg here, which is peg 3 on Belvedere. Now I like this peg. It holds a lot of like stocky F1s and odd bigger one. There's always a chance of carp, which I feel like is really important on Belv. It wasn't on the day, but it is normally. It's got some nice edges, it's got some lily pads across. So I'll show you where I fished and what I thought and processes of obviously thinking about my peg. Now, it's all going to be about fishing with maggots. I feel like that's the bait at the minute. I did start on pellets. So where I started on pellets was, I started here, never had a bite on them for like 10 minutes. When I was loose feeding, that's where I fished my shallow line there, like 10 metres. Just because I feel like 25 was in. Ian wanted to come towards the pads as well, so I thought, right, that little set of pads there, it's over halfway, it's my little area. I thought, I'm going to make that mine. I'm not going to try and be clever and fish all different pads. Yes, I'm going to lose a few in the pads, but that's part of it. Just fish nice O10 hook lengths on that shallow line. But that's where I started, here, like top 5. It's about 4.5 foot there, nice and flat. Didn't have a bite, so like I could see a few fish in and out of the lilies, like them little blondie F1s, some smaller eyed and stuff. So I thought, right, I can't go on that yet. So what I've done is I put 2 sections on, gone in line with the edge of the pallet, in line with the life buoy over there. Tap some pellets in there. I've caught a 5 pound F1. That's the only bite I've had on pellets. And then I've literally just swapped between 2 lines, which I've just done some filming today, all about maggot fishing. So I fished the line at top 5 and then shallow there, up and down on the bottom. Now, I couldn't really, like, I'm not going to say I couldn't really catch, but I'm just ticked over. I could catch an odd skimmer, an odd-eyed short. I could catch an odd-eyed, an odd F1, very odd F1, shallow. I could catch on the bottom. I had a little run on the bottom with like big old ones randomly, but obviously lost a few in the lily beds. And then late on, probably an hour to go, this short line's come really good. I could get an odd bite on that line there off an F1, and then what I find is on this lake is they sort of like pop up. So I'm just going to walk around to Stretton, so I'll talk through. They pop up. So what I mean by that is, like, when I'm feeding, is there's no sort of small roach in your peg anymore. There's no small nuisance fish. It's just the fish come to a set depth, and that's where I caught them. I caught them about 3 foot deep, just on a single side up maggot. Just dead simple, nice light rig, and I caught them that way, loose feeding a few maggots. Now, one thing I was dubious of is the 5 pint limit. It's pretty hard to feed 2 lines with 5 pints efficiently, but what I found is the best way to do it is when early on in the session is just feeding 10s all the time. Just like little bits of bait, not trying to be too aggressive. And to be honest, it worked out quite well, because I managed to catch an odd skimmer, an odd eyed short, tick over, and then I felt like when the F1s are fed, that's when I've caught really well. So yeah, we had a nice day. I think I weighed 92 pound, which won the match. So nice little start of the festival, which is always nice to win a match of the festival. I think Jordan Holloway was second with 81. Who was third? The lad next to me on peg 5, I can't remember his name, I do apologise. He was third with 68 pound, and then my mate Jack was 4th. So that was the top 4 in the day. Going on to the second day, it was only on the canal, sections were only on Stretton, Belv and Canal, so loads of bites to be had, nice simple fishing, not too stressful. I just could whack these aerators on. Just, I asked Ash not to put them on because I was filming, but yeah, that's where I was over there on the day. Peg 3 over there. Well, yeah, we'll have a little tour of Belv as well while we're here. Peg 24. I always seem to draw this little area. Now, when I drew peg 3, I thought that's going to be a nice little area. So I thought, why not? Sorry, a little camera malfunction there. I don't know what went on. I forgot what I was saying. But that was a nice little area fished on Belv. I drew it a few times, so it can be a nice little area. Obviously, going on to the second day, could have drawn anywhere from Stretton, Belve and Canal. I did fancy a day on Canal just because I like that sort of fishing, and I fished a match on there the week before, which I'll speak about now, but I just fancied a day on there. So I'll go back in time. So I was going back to, I think it's the 12th of October, fished the Dragon Mania Final actually on Canal on Weston. Now, I'd not fished a match since the Golden Reel Final for that. I come down on the Friday filming a bit of hide stuff on Jack's, which you might have already seen, and I sat with my mate Jack, and it was apparent all the fish were like on the bottom, but it was like the F1s were scared to loose feed. Now what I mean by that is it's like when they loose feed and you couldn't really catch any F1s, but if you potted like 10, 12 maggots and just sat them dead patient, that was the way to catch them. So on the day I drew peg 17, which I was happy with, but I left 16 in the bag, which I feel like would have been a really, really nice peg just because it's got a little bit more room. But 17 is not to be sniffed at. There was a lot of people in that arm. There was every peg in that arm, so 5 people in that arm. So it's a little bit tough. I forgot to put the other aerator on. I'll have to go back. It's a little bit tough. I was talking, that's why I forgot. A little bit tough, like obviously there was 20 people on the lake, so drew peg 17. Actually, I fancied it just to catch some because I feel like I set up a swinging rig across for some maggots for some carp across, and then I've set up, what else to set up? 30 metres on the bottom up and down. Felt like I had a little edge there because I've been and sat with Jack the day before, on the Friday. Just knew how the fish are feeding, and I set up a short line with maggots to start on pellets the same line, then swap it to maggots, and then I set up an edge just in case, but I didn't feel like I'd catch anything there. And I had a nice match. I started short on pellets, got lucky with a carp, I had a 6-pound carp, and got a 2-pound bream and an F1. And then I've just gone long on maggots, caught a few wide like you do, and then they've gone really weird. So dropped on the bottom, got perched out just because I felt there wasn't enough bait on the bottom. Basically, that was all it was. But I put a 4-foot rig on for shallow. And I caught like all these little skimmers and stuff, and like nice skimmers, like a pound. And I thought, you know what, I'll just tick over catching them. And then middle of the match, the silverfish stopped feeding. So I've just thought, right, I know what to do now. Put a little kinder pot on, single maggot, little size 16, 010, single maggot, tapping in 10 to 15 maggots, just being really patient. And I picked up an odd F1, an odd skimmer, an odd hide, but I've been throwing some maggots short after my initial line with pellets. And I dropped on it with like 2.5 hours to go, which is a bit early for me. I normally like to leave it. I dropped on it just to see, because I felt like I needed somewhere to rest, which is one thing I learned for the festival, is resting lines. And I dropped in on it. I caught 2 big F1s dead quick and then not a bite, so I've gone back long. And as the match has gone on again, them silvers have started to feed again. So what I mean by that is they've started to come in the peg again, started to catch regular. So I had a nice net of fish. And then I seen Chris Wells next to me, he's up a couple of carp in his edge, so obviously I've been feeding it with ground bait. Dropped in, caught a 3 or 4 pound F1, and then with 5 minutes to go I thought, should I drop back in the edge or should I just drop back short and try and put something in the net? And I dropped back in the edge, fouled up the fish and lost it. Thought, oh well. And then I come the way in, there was Harry Billing, he was on peg 6, he's caught 84 pound 7, I think it was. And I thought, I'm nowhere near that. I generally thought, I'm not very good at weights at the minute, but I generally thought I'd be very, very, very surprised if I have that. I thought I had like 72, 75 pound. Put my silvers on net, they went 44 pound. I thought, fair enough, that's what I expected to have of them. And I thought I only had 30 pounds F1s, but I've had them ones which are like a little bit, they look a pound, but obviously they're like 1.5 pounds basically. And I've had a lot of them, like the old stocky F1s, and I weighed 4 ounces less than Harry, so I come second in that one, which is a bit annoying, but I wasn't too fussed because I feel like, have you ever had it where one of them days where you've weighed in and you feel like you've got no chance, and then you're close, but you feel like you want I know it's one fish here and there, 4 ounces, next to nothing, but Harry's had a bit of luck catching one late on. I've had one come off. It's a lucky needing fish, and I got very lucky in the golden reel final, which if you offered me that over the Dragon Mania, I know it sounds thingy, I'd have took that any day. So I wasn't too fussed. Second overall, did win a section, so I won a nice 250 quid, so it wasn't too bad. But second day of the festival now, probably out of breath, but excuse the aerator noise, but let's keep the oxygen nice and topped up here at Weston. This is the peg I drew on the second day of the festival, so peg 8. Now, sorry to interrupt the video, but don't forget to like and subscribe. It just helps with the channel, and I'll let you get back to the rest of the video now. This is the peg I drew on Stretton, so peg 8, which is there. It's like a narrowish peg on the lake, nice little narrow channel, but I had a bit of room to my right. Every other peg was into 2, 4, 6, 8 was in, and then peg 12 and peg 29, which is where them lads are there now. That's where was the next angler. So a lot of the fish are gathered here the day before. So a lot of them are gathered there the day before, so I thought, right, I'll have to be a bit patient. So what I did was I started about 14 metres to the far bank, just on soft pellets, rattled some in with a formal expander on, just sat there, 5 minutes, it's gone, flew under, hooked it, I thought, oh, that's a nice F1. Shipped back, I took my top kit off and I thought, this isn't F1 this is a carp. Played it, come up, big carp. Now, here at Weston, if you don't know, they pay, if you put an extra tenner in, they pay a big fish super pool. So obviously the biggest fish of the 2 days, you get the super pool. So that weighed 14, so I'll come on to that at the end, but yeah, it was a big fish. And then literally I've had a 6 metre maggot line to my left there, and it plumbs up really weird, this peg. It's quite shallow there, it's probably 4 foot there. As you go close to the area, it goes like a cliff face, so it drops off like a cliff, and it's probably 5.5, nearly 6 foot there. But I've just literally, in line with that tree, just fished 4 foot there, loose feeding a few maggots. I'll put a bit of footage on for you, and I threw some at 6 metres there, just swapped between the two, and the peg's just got a lot better as the day's gone on. So what I mean by that is it's got stronger, so I started to catch steady F1s on my short line. I've gone long. They were hard to catch on that long line, I think because it was so silty and 4 foot deep, they were quite spooky, but I had to loose feed and pot and try and catch them that way, go for the trees. But I had a lovely day, ended up winning the match again with £89 I want to say, and I won the biggest fish. So we've gone back to the results. Obviously I've won the festival because I've won both matches. I've won the biggest weight of the 2 days and the biggest fish prize, so a lovely little pick-up here at Weston. If you haven't been on these festivals as well, they are something for everyone. You don't have to go in the super pools. You can just go in your section pools. Obviously, they're only 2 days, so they're nice and short. You don't need loads of bait now because obviously there's a 5 pint limit in maggot and casters, so you're not going to need gallons of bait. And everyone's just nice and friendly and has a laugh, which I do like doing. And there's one coming up in December, which I'll probably film and put it on here for you, like a vlog style thing. But yeah, we've won the festival, which is a nice way to obviously get over the line after the week before coming second. So nice. I think it's only my third festival win here at Weston, I think. Yeah, which I've fished a few of them, but obviously I've made up to that. I've drew some nice pegs, had some nice days fishing, and I've just filmed all about the rigs I feel like, which caught me a few fish, because I feel like I learned a lot when I come to this on this festival. Now, the last one I want to talk about is last weekend at Herren Brook, teams of 4. I haven't fished this venue, we're trying to work it out, probably 5 years, I want to say. That was the last time I went to the venue, I don't know why, just whether qualifiers stopped there, and I just don't really have the time to go on opens and stuff anymore, so with a busy schedule. So I don't know why I haven't been there for 5 years. I used to live there when I was probably a little bit younger. I used to go on teams of 4, spring league, I used to fish all them leagues, and it was just interesting in mint fishing. Now I love meadow, I just think it's exciting, it's a canal style, there's loads of ends, bends, different areas of lakes. The fish are big as well, like the F1s are probably £2 average plus. There's carp in there, so I love that style of lake. So I've decided to go on there and fishing with Sam Slockett, James Howarth and Alex Dawson. Now, first round they had a bit of a disaster. I was doing my metric marathon, James and Alex were White Acres. So Robbie filled in for me on meadow. He didn't draw very well on the day, he didn't fish right, but they were like, I think we're 14 points behind Maver Midlands, which is Trev Robinson, Jake, Steve Openshaw and Ben. they've done really well. They actually won the day again on the Sunday, but obviously I'll speak about that. So I've got there the draw. They've drawn me peg 22, which is probably like old 30ish, around the back straight, around from like 20, yeah, the old 26 to 34, that straight, if anyone knows it. I actually filmed it for Winning Ways, so if you're interested in watching that, head over to their channel when it comes out to watch how I went about it. But I had a frustrating one. I just felt like I didn't know what to do. Like, I've tapped some hard pellets in 3.5 foot, I've caught an odd carp, very odd F1. I missed a few bites early on pellets, which was frustrating. And then I fished pellets down the middle, caught a couple of fish, but it wasn't going anywhere, so I've changed it to maggots, and I still had a problem with not foul hooking, I'm just missing a few bites. So I ended up probably wrong side of the weights. I had 82 pounds, come 7th on the lake out of 10, so beat 3 people, but I needed another 10 pounds to beat 3 more. So looking back, if I went back now, I probably would be able to catch that, because I feel like I'd be able to move around lines and drop on lines and move around. So yeah, that one was an interesting. I think the lads, we got 17 points on the day. Me and Sam didn't do very good, but Alex and James did brilliant, 1st and 2nd on the lake. So hopefully there's around November time. I'm actually really looking forward to it. It's like I'm probably the kick up the arse I needed, because I've had 2 lovely days at Weston, or 3 lovely matches at Weston. Nice and simple fishing, and I've gone there and it's probably kicked me up the arse, and I've not done very well. So I want to get back on that meadow, hopefully draw a nice little peg, learn a little bit more and put that into practice. So yeah, that's my October. I'm not fishing this weekend, so I thought I'd do my little catch up now of October. This is what I'm going to do. Probably my biggest, I'm going to try and find it. There's my side reel, anyone interested? My biggest thing I want to take away from this month is these hooks. I keep going banging on about them and everything, but XFS's, B's, I'm going to sneeze, sorry. Oh. Excuse me. These hooks have been really important at Weston, just because they're nice light hooks, and catching hides, skimmers, F1s, and it was really weird. When the fishing was tricky on my long line the other day, it sounds mad, but I put one of these on. I had an SFL on, sorry, because I hooked a big carp and lost it, so I thought, right, I put an SFL on. The bites were all weird. They were like little tiny dips, really hard to hit, but I put one of these back on. It's like the fish have just got a little bit more confidence. Put them back in there. A little bit more confidence when the hook's a little bit lighter. But as you'll see in my little video when it comes out about throwing my maggots short and stuff, when the fishing gets good, I don't feel like it matters. But that's what I'm going to do from now on. That's what I'm going to do, these little like monthly catch-ups, just what I've been up to, a few things I've learned, where I've been going, and hopefully I'll take my cameras with me when I'm not like doing it. We'll put it into vlog style, but I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, drop in comments below. Obviously it helps. It's getting to that time of year now where obviously the fishing gets a little bit slower, but what do people want to see? So hopefully if you comment below what you want to see, if you stayed long enough in this video, I do appreciate you watching. Comment below, I'll get out filming, get you some content done, and hopefully keep you entertained over these winter months. But yeah, that was my October. I've had a good little run. Obviously Dragon Mania is a bit disappointing. Herren Brook kicked my arse, but I had a lovely 2-day festival here at Weston. So fishing maggots short, maggots on the bottom long and shallow. Fantastic fishing, and I can't wait to get back on here. So thank you for watching, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.